So the next portion of this project is to make a list of things that you're thankful for. We're calling this project Garden of Gratitude. It was just an idea I got from a book. But you're going to be making symbols to represent the different things you're thankful for. So on this slide, you'll see a list of ideas. So this one is friends and family, opportunities, so any special things you've gotten to do, groups or organizations you belong to. So that could be sports, it could be clubs, it could be any type of organization you belong to. Skills or talents, that could be, again, some type of sports or music or a game you're really good at, things like that. And maybe pets. This is just a short list. If you think of some other things to include, you sure can do that. So in your little book, you're going to make that list. I put these topics here, but I do want you to actually list the things you're thinking of, and then think about how you're going to visually represent these. So you might do some sketches in here, use as many pages as you need. If you need some ideas, you can always look up on your computer like clip art. They're usually pretty simple cartoon images to help you kind of break down an image. I'm going to show you some examples that I have and then how we're going to do it. I'm going to move the camera here just for a second. So I have some different things on here. I have my kids' names are on here, and I just did a fun border around those. I think it's important to laugh often. I like to be joyful, and I just did some cursive, and I thickened up the lines. So when you're doing your designs, thicker and thinner lines are going to add more interest to what you're doing. And I just had some hearts in here and stars just to kind of fill up some space. I have a watercolor palette and brush for painting. My ice skate, I coach figure skating. I play trumpet. I also play piano, so I included that. We're all Wahawks here, so I added the flying W on there. And I have the state of Iowa, and picture of my dog, and a mug, a cup of coffee. I have art, I have a ukulele up in here too. So those are some different images I included. I also have a different one I did. This one I have a flower with the different members of our family. I like to travel. I like being outdoors, love dessert, and just some other fun little designs included as well. So think about some different things. I have the little house in both of them representing our home. Think of some different things that could represent things that you're thankful for to have or that you just like. So you're using the index pages that were provided and your Uniball pen. If you want to draw things out lightly and then use your pen, you can do that. If you look really close, I did do some thickening of the lines. So I have some line variation on here. This image is thicker. This one I did with cursive. If you're interested in like the modern calligraphy type, when you go up, it's a thin line. When you come down, it's a thicker line. So I kind of did a little bit of that. We'll be using the watercolor, and then you have a brush, and you need some water. So when we're going to do these, when you're using your watercolor, get the colors wet. That helps it, oops, rinse in between. Helps the colors become a little richer. We also don't want to use too much water on the index cards because it's not meant to hold water, but a light wash on there will be fine. We just want a little bit of color. Depending on what brush you have and how big your drawing is, I have some alternative ideas if you need like a smaller brush. I kind of thought about that. I'm going to do this star and show you. So I have yellow on here. I have a paper towel nearby if I need to blot this off if I get too much paint on there. Just a little bit. So I'm going to go inside here. If you're trying to do something that's kind of tighter and your brush is not working out, if you have a toothpick or something like that, you can kind of draw the water into the corner. And I'm just going to go around the edge here to pull it through. So that's a different idea too. If you're doing something with multiple colors, you'll want to make sure that the colors dry in between. So I did this little house. I did the outside. I have a color on the inside, but I wanted it a little darker. So I let the outside dry, and then I'm going to go to the inside. And I might use that same technique because my brush is pretty big. Okay, and then let those dry. When I go to cut these out, since we're kind of making them look like a sticker, leave a little bit of border around the outside. There'll be some examples on the slide, but I can also do this one quick too. And then you'll use a glue stick to glue these on. Have a goal of around 15 images or so. If you want to do a few more, you can, and they don't all have to be super meaningful. They can be just kind of fun designs. This one might be still a little wet, but so I'm leaving just a little bit of white there. It'll help your design pop on the background as well. And make sure they're dry before you go to glue them on, just because you could smear pretty easily. And I would also, when you draw with your Uniball pen, make sure to give that some dry time, because if you get it wet right away, it might smear. Even though it's a waterproof pen, it does need some dry time. Okay. But leave a little bit of white border on there again. Like my state of Iowa, I didn't go around all those edges, I just kind of rounded it through there. Okay, so you'll be doing that with all your images, and then go ahead and glue those on.